And we are in episode 4 of the Witches half of Paranormal Mondays. Who wants to do a summary of the previous session? Whoever actually paid attention last week. If you don't vote, I pick one of you.
All I really remember is we encountered 2 people with Z's in their names, and they're both evil.
That's a fairly decent summary.
We only did like 4 things. Do you think I could remember what those 4 things were? Oh, yeah, and Kismet summoned a Graveling to confront the evil preacher that we believe is actually evil. And when she did, she strained herself and she bled from her eyes, nose, ears, and mouth. And it was disgusting, and I took her home and put her in a bathtub and washed her off, and now she's just sort of crying blood, dribbling here and there, which is just really gross. Sorry, Kismet. That's disgusting.
Well, it's better than it was, at least.
It's much better than it was. And we got the matted blood out of her hair and stuff, so that was good.
So did we learn anything last week?
Well, yeah, we learned that the preacher probably has scrambled people's minds in some way, or somehow concealed his earliest days in the town, and people seem to have forgotten when he got here, or why he's here, or what the circumstances were, and they just think he's been here forever, but they can't explain it. That, I think, was a pretty interesting little tidbit of information.
Yeah, because even when Kismet questioned you or Nemesis about it, you were both like, no, the guy's been here as long as I can remember, and now stop asking me questions. Because that was the other thing. If she would push too far, you guys would get kind of whoever she would be questioning would start to get irritable. So, all right, Kismet, what do you want to do as the...
Why? Why are you asking me? I'm bleeding.
Well, yes, but you're not, actually hurting. You're just kind of, bleeding.
Well, there's nothing for me. What do I want to do? I don't know. Stop bleeding. That's what I want to do. I mean, we figured out who the guy was.
Most of your bleeding is because this, we'll say like a day or two has passed, and most of your bleeding has stopped. You still have a little kind of trickle, but
okay. So in the day or two that has passed, have we figured out a plan?
Ethel, I believe that was directed towards you as Coven leader.
Well, that's because I was on mute. I was saying things that were very wise when I was asked. Because I'm eating a piece of baklava, so I put myself on mute. No, we haven't, but we need to do that now. So I get everybody over at my house. We're out in the backyard. I'm having a confab about what are we going to do. I don't realize that there's anything wrong with the preacher, right?
Well, other than the fact you already don't like him.
Right. I hate his guts. Because I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure he's after me, and I'm sure he knows something about me, and I don't know why I'm sure of that, but I'm sure of it.
Yeah, all you know that the two of you have had an antagonistic relationship towards each other.
Right, but I can't really put my finger on exactly how that started or what happened.
You always just assumed it happened during your childhood.
So,
because he's been here like a few years longer than you have. What did we say you were, like early 30s?
Something like that, I don't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, so, all you know is that when you got to the age when you started to be aware of this kind of stuff, that he was there and he'd been there, and
yeah, we don't like each other. But I don't have any idea what my brain is scrambled, All I know is I don't like him, I don't want to talk about him. And so, when it comes to making a plan, guys, remember, We were told that something evil is going to take over this town.
It's
Or
already
something
here.
death is on its
It's him.
way. It's him?
Yes.
Are you sure, Kismet? What about that guy?
Yes.
What? What?
That's where the sense of the extra sense of death is coming from was emanating. That's where the whole yes, it's him.
How do we get rid of him? That's what we have to decide. Or at least expose him so that we can fight him. Because when you released your Graveling, what did he do?
He acted like it wasn't a thing at all.
Didn't even phase him?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's a piece of information. Not necessarily the one I wanted to hear. But
Do we think that the homeless man is working with the preacher?
Ethel, you need to turn your mic off. Now say that again. Okay.
I asked if we thought the homeless man whom we've sent to the hotel for a shower is working in cahoots with the preacher.
Maybe.
Well,
I think we need to go.
Kismet wants him to paint the house, so.
I think we need to talk to that guy and find out. I can get inside his head and find out where he's coming from.
I thought also part of the plan was to get him away from the church and the preacher in order to determine whether or not he just happens to be here.
We did that.
Okay.
That's why we sent him to the hotel.
Oh no, that was the homeless guy. We never got
Yeah.
the preacher out.
Oh, you mean the preacher, to get him away from the
But
church?
I thought it was made really clear last time when Kismet approached him, and I kept asking, "Is this where the aura of death was coming from?" Chris said, "Yeah, that it was coming from him."
Yeah. Well, it was just a double, like, okay, we know the preacher is evil and his church is evil, but also this guy, or is this guy just a happenstance?
Oh yeah, we sent that guy to the hotel, and nothing changed.
Yeah.
Right, but we still don't know if he's with the
Well-
preacher, just a passerby who's kind of
is he
weird, or
minion?
is he something else important? He might be something
The
else important.
The other thing is, just because, you've got a hurricane, doesn't mean that you don't have a really nasty thunderstorm nearby that you just don't notice because there's a hurricane.
Yeah, that was the other part of it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
I can see your monitor reflecting in your glasses, Miles, and you look like a cartoon character. Like, it could be swirls. And that's
See,
great.
you're visualizing Miles as a cartoon character.
Yeah, but abstractly. I'm gonna hop over. I'm gonna get in the VW microbus and hop over and find that guy who took a shower.
You're gonna go by yourself?
I don't know. Anybody want to go with me? I want to know more about that guy, and if I can get in his head, I need to know who he is, why he's here. He might just be like an indigent guy who's hanging out in the church, but I want to know more.
Okay.
Anybody coming? Nemesis, you're in.
Sure.
I already
Kismet?
talked to him.
Sarah?
Sure.
Okay. We'll let,
So everyone's gonna pile in the VW?
I'm still bleeding. I'm not going.
yeah,
anywhere.
we'll let her. I'll leave her here with a stack of clean towels.
Although, if he's somebody who makes her feel better, I wonder if that could have any influence on her symptoms.
What sort of condition did I tell you that it was, Stacy? Was it just a moderate?
It's a critical.
Oh, it was a critical? Okay. So that means it basically stays until
Until what?
you can, until you die. No, until you can basically, you have to do something about it. So.
But what can I do about it? Because I would like to do that.
Oh, if I knew that, can I mix her a potion before we go? A healing potion for her condition?
Sure. I mean, you can knock it. You could take a potion. You can knock it from a critical down to a moderate. Basically, you'll stop bleeding, but you're gonna still be a little sluggish.
Can she channel the powers of the coven as a whole?
That would be really nice, wouldn't it?
In other words, no. Okay, well, I will give her another healing potion to bring her down to moderate, and it's so that the bleeding stops. But if she still doesn't feel very well, she can just hang out here and rest until she feels better. Or she can come with us if she wants to, but if she's not feeling up to it, that's fine.
I don't really need to talk to the guy again.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
So we drive over to the hotel, or motel, I guess it is.
Motel.
Is
Yeah, and as small as this town is,
It doesn't have a hotel, yeah.
Well, as I say, it takes longer for us to describe driving across town than it does to actually get there. So
Okay. So,
you're at the piece of crap motel on the edge of town, such as there is an edge. It just doesn't really edge it as much as the town kind of just peters out.
right, as towns do.
Yeah. It was once on a highway, and now it's just kind of there, and it's a family business because they don't really have anything else they can do. And every now and then somebody gets lost and ends up spending the night in their hotel. So
Okay.
they managed to keep it going.
So I go up to his hotel room and I knock on the door. I'm
Okay.
assuming it's one of those ones that has like the balconies that stretch along, like the Martin Luther King hotel.
No, it's not even that. It's just basically a one. It's
Oh,
kind of
it's a string of little cabiny things, but they're all
it's
put together.
it's kind of like the Bates Motel kind of thing.
Oh, it's a house?
No, it's just basically
A row
it's
of
like
rooms. I know
yeah.
what the kind of mean. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like it's like a strip center, but if the strip center were just motel room.
I know.
Yeah, your classic motor hotel.
Yeah.
I got you.
So, door window with a curtain and.
Yep. So I go down to number 6 and I knock on the door.
He comes to the door and he's eating like a bag of yoo-hoos or ding-dongs or whatever the hell he got out of the vending machine that was chocolatey.
Do I know his name?
Yes.
Tell me it again. I've forgotten.
Isaac Zook.
Oh, that's right. Gadzooks. So I say, Isaac, I'm sorry to bother you. I heard some friends of mine helped you out with some money to stay in the hotel, and I just wanted to check on you and see if you were doing okay, and if you still think you can make it over to our friend's house to do some house painting over there.
Sure, that's no problem. I figure once, 2, maybe 3 days of work at the church, and then I can come over and do the painting and some fixing if need be.
So, what kind of work are you doing over the church?
I'm fixing the walls. They're rotting.
The walls are rotting. Oh, yeah. Is that like a wood frame church?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are right on the edge of a swamp. I mean, believe me, the humidity gets to everything.
Yeah, I bet.
That's the GM, by the way, not the.
No, he didn't say that. Isaac didn't say that. Although he could have,
Yeah.
So, just between you and me, what do you think of the preacher?
Well, all preachers do God's work.
Not all of them do. Some of them are fake. But you think he's a good guy?
I don't really know him. I'm just passing through.
Can I read his mind and see what he really thinks when I say, what do you think of the preacher?
Go ahead and make a roll on your channel.
Oh dear, that's a 5.
So now you just see this kind of you feel this kind of red hot knot of rage.
Whoa, rage, huh?
Yeah, but that's probably just the
His resting bitch face.
yeah yeah.
Gotcha.
He's had a shower, some snacks, and a nap, and now he's just pissed.
I'll pursue this a little bit. I'm going to push him a little, and I'll say, yeah, I hate to say it, but that preacher and I, we've never gotten along. He's had it in for me, and I kind of have a bad feeling about him, if you want to know the truth. I hope he's not going to screw you over or do anything to make you uncomfortable, but I wouldn't. I don't trust him.
He says that comfort isn't really concerned. He puts that into God's hands.
Yeah, well, just be careful. I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up. I don't want to say too much, but...
Well, this is just a way station on my mission and my God-given mission in life.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. What is your mission? Tell me more about that.
He just kind of clams up and...
Is it a secret mission? I didn't think God sent people on secret missions.
Well, he sent the Blues Brothers on a secret mission.
The who?
Blues Brothers.
Oh,
That wasn't really a secret.
it wasn't a secret.
Well, I think it was supposed to be, however...
They kind of screwed that up, didn't
Yeah.
they? Can I try and influence him to tell me more about this mission?
You as you talk with him, he kind of retreats into the room, but into the room. But he's basically trying to keep distance between himself and you.
Yeah, I get it. I stand in the doorway, so I don't not enter the room and try and be threatening or anything, but just kind of casually stand so that he can't slam the door in my face.
Make a brains roll.
Brains?
Yep.
That is an 11.
You notice that the what serves as the table in the room, there are a lot of sharp and pointy things.
Like instruments and things, or like naturally occurring sharp, pointy things?
Yeah, it's just a sharp and pointy table.
Like shark's teeth, and
No,
or you mean like there's a knife and an ice pick and?
Well, there's a lot. There's some knives. There's like what appears to be a kind of handmade club of some sort, and
Okay, wow. I'm going to be a little bit bold here. I'm going to go, oh, wow, look at your table. What do you use all that stuff for?
He says dispatching the wicked.
Wow. So I'm going to try and read his mind again. I'm going to say, you're not here to dispatch anybody wicked, are you?
I'm always. My mission is to dispatch the wicked.
Oh, so that's what you do. And I'm going to roll to see if he has any idea who is wicked or if he's thinking of anyone in particular. 7.
Now, you just get the same kind of red-hot knot of rage. But you do feel that he's getting more angry.
Yeah, I could tell. That red hot rage is now white hot rage.
It skipped yellow hot. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it might be a good time to.
You let me be the judge of that.
Are you gonna have it? Well, are the others just like sitting in the van chatting and wondering what the hell's going on with you?
I don't know. You
Uh,
ask them. What are you guys doing?
Yes.
Are you at least keeping an eye on me? Are you like, did you wander off to Taco Bell, or did you hotwire the van? Because I've got the keys. They're really simple to hotwire.
We shout out from the van, hey, we're hungry, we want to go get something to eat. Why don't you see if Isaac wants to come with us?
Oh, awkward.
Well, we don't know you're going in and
No, I
directing
know,
your
I
sharp,
get that.
pointy things.
So Isaac, hey, we're gonna go down to the diner. If you want to join us, you're more than welcome to. We'd be happy to pick up the check if that's a concern.
I have to have. It is time for my prayers.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Chris.
It is time for my prayers.
Okay. Well, if you need anything, just let us know, and hopefully in a few days you'll be able to get over and work on some of the stuff for. She's such a sweet lady. I'm sure that she'd really appreciate any of the chores that she has there, that you could do some painting and things. So, and I'm kind of backing out of the doorway toward the van. So anyway, yeah. Well, we'll see you then, and take care of yourself. Keep up the good work. And I hop back in the van and we take off. So I tell these two, I don't know, I couldn't get inside that guy's head, but he is, I think he's a witch hunter, guys, and I think he's some kind of hunter for Jesus or some damn thing, and he's kind of dangerous, and he's really, really angry.
Do you think he could sense that you were a witch?
I am not sure. Like I said, I couldn't get inside.
Mm-hmm.
We've had years of practice.
But you don't think he's working for the preacher? It's just conveniently that the preacher's there.
I can't tell. I don't think he's working for him. If anything, I
You mean
think
with
he
him?
might be working against him, but I can't tell. I think he's sincere in this whole thing about being a hunter of wickedness. That's what he said. He hunts the wicked. But he
I
wouldn't
wonder
give
if
it
we
any.
should call the head office to find out if they've got any records of him, if he's actually been killing people or not.
That's a great idea. Maybe there's some record of this guy. If he's been wandering the earth, killing the wicked, they should know something about him.
And if he's actually accurate in who he's assuming is wicked versus, just generally not liking people with green eyes.
And how's his intelligence? Yeah.
Yeah.
The one-man intelligence agency that he is. I didn't ask him that, though. Shoot, I should have asked him. Not that he would have told me, probably, but if he's working with an organization or not.
Mm.
Well, and you don't want to push him too much because he may just decide that,
I need to be killed, yeah.
Yeah.
Although his methods for killing the wicked appear to be sharp, pointy objects.
Well, those things work.
Sometimes.
Never underestimate the ability of stabbing someone. All right, so
Okay.
you guys head back.
I give up. Go
Along
ahead.
with all the sharp, pointy things, did you notice like any journals or anything where he was maybe taking some notes?
I didn't see anything, but the room was dark
Okay.
behind him, and I didn't want to go in there too far.
Understandable.
Before, when she was looking around, Member Kismet found his Bible with notes and things in it.
I'd forgotten that.
Oh, yeah, me too.
That's my job as the GM.
You get XP for that.
Yeah. Yeah. The XP that you would have gotten now go to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I do go ahead and call the home office, and I give him the guy's name, his description, and relate to them what he said about being a hunter of the wicked. and see if they have any intel on this guy.
Their response is just, give us a couple of days.
Okay.
Because obviously this isn't like, we'll Google him and because you guys could do that, obviously. But yeah, they say, give him a couple of days, we'll see what we can find.
I do Google him. When we get back to the house, I Google him. Do I find anything on Google about him?
No.
Not even like his name? Nothing.
Well, you just find the standard, we've found record of, those spam sites. Those spam sites that want you to, like, fill out.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what about any unexplained murders, possibly with religious or cultish connections to them?
What, with his name attached to them?
No, not just in general.
Maybe in the southwest or southeast.
Yeah, anything in the area.
Welcome to the South. There's always.
We are talking Florida here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a state where in real life people throw alligators in through drive-through windows. So
yeah, but the ones that aren't claimed by religious nutters already.
Well, I mean, there's always a number of deaths, murders like that. So that's just going to take a little more, specifying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can look for that, and you're going to find a crap load of
death by non-gun. Apparently he stabs things, so non-gang related stabbing deaths.
Don't I have, like, one of the girls I went to high school with, doesn't she work as a police dispatcher? Over in the next... somewhere?
She probably could. You mean a sheriff?
Yeah.
Dispatcher? Because, this place isn't big enough for police.
Right. Maybe I could get her to ask her boyfriend to do a little digging.
On what, him specifically, or just, weird crimes of stabbery?
Weird crimes of stabbery that have happened in the tri-state area. You guys don't really have a tri-state area, do you?
No.
Is that something people say in Florida? It's like,
no.
You're like a long stabby thing that goes down into the ocean. There is no tri-state area. But
that
anyway,
would be like a penis.
Yeah, it's like a flaccid member that's kind of floating on the ocean.
Anyway,
and
reports of unsolved, I think it would have to be, stabbing deaths under unusual circumstances. Or maybe not even unusual circumstances.
Does anybody have like an investigative power that would allow them to find patterns in any of these reports that we've gathered?
That would be awesome too. I'd say the closest you probably have is the fact that you have a death mage. Who isn't listening, apparently.
What? I heard death mage, but I didn't think I needed to really respond to that.
Why, you're waiting for the other death mage to respond?
Well, I mean, I'm kidding.
Well, you could try to, because as somebody who is involved with death, you know that that spirits tend to stick around people who do violent crimes.
Mm-hmm. So
at least for a period of time, and then eventually they either get taken over by some other more powerful personalities of a spirit, or you know what I mean.
Sure. Why does it matter?
Well, they're trying to get information about this guy killing people. And I said the closest they would have is, the Death Mage would be able to probably talk to some of the spirits if they're attached to him, if he's a serial killer.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm not there.
Well, no, they're coming back because.
Okay.
So. But obviously you can't just be driving back and forth between the motel because someone will end up getting stabbed. So,
Death Mage, do you want anything from the diner? Do you want some pancakes and bacon?
Did you just call me Death Mage?
I did.
Yes, as if it were your name.
I like it. It's got presence.
That is your job title. You're not office manager, you're Death Mage.
Hey, Kismet, we're going to the diner. Do you want us to bring anything back for you?
Okay. Whatever. Pancakes and bacon.
All right. So we get back to Tansy's house. We're all sitting at the table eating, and then what we decide to do?
Well, I mean, if you want, you can try to go, maybe you can go back to the church while he's working, and Kismet can try to see if there's any dead people stuck to him.
She's already tried that a couple of times. There's no dead people around.
At the church. But that was the church.
Well, that also could be because, it's, like I said, you've got this thunderstorm that's kind of bouncing around, and then you've got a hurricane. It's kind of hard to notice the...
So we seem to have two things colliding at once here in our little town of whatever it's called. We have somebody who is viewing himself as some kind of stalker of evil. We're not sure he has the common sense to tell what's actually evil or not. And then we have whatever's going on at the church with the preacher there. Do we think that perhaps Isaac is drawn to this place because of the evil taking place at the church?
Well, I kind of think that that's likely, but I couldn't get any read off of him at all about what he thought about the preacher. All I got from him was absolute rage when I tried to get inside his head. But he is one very, very angry living being. I know that much.
I wonder if he's feeding off the energy from the church. It's kind of building up his anger that was already there. Nemesis, you've been here for a long time. Have you seen anybody with similar passions for slaying evil come through this area?
Jack Thompson.
Jack Thompson?
Sorry, that's it.
The anti-video game guy?
Before that was the anti-NWA guy. No, I don't recall anybody, on a holy crusade to murder people.
Okay, so Isaac was going to head back over to the church to do some more work. What are we going to do with both of those people in the same place? Are we doing more investigation? Are we going to try to cast some kind of spell to see if we can get anything to reveal itself to us? Should we send the Graveling to stare awkwardly at people as they work?
Well, the Graveling's probably,
It's dissipated by now.
yeah, it's dissipated.
But I was going to call him George.
Never get attached to a Graveling. That's a
And
rule.
love him and squeeze him and pat him on the head.
Great, we're going to have a whole party of goths by the time this thing is done.
I think I'm going to turn it to a cat and go see if I can further investigate the church. A black cat, since we're doing a goth theme.
Are you sure you want to do this by yourself?
I'm just announcing it to my group here. It's up to them if they want to come with me or to dissuade me from going by myself or whatever they want to do. Talkative bunch, aren't they?
Wait, what are you doing?
I want to go back and get in that church and find out what's in that basement, and
There
also
wasn't
see if.
anything in the basement. I was in the basement.
Oh shoot! There's some clue in that church. I think there is.
It was the preacher dude.
I know, but we need to know how to attack him. How to figure out what's going on. I mean, the prophecy is that death is coming to our town. Well, he's been here forever. What's he planning? What's going to happen? How do we stop it?
The last message that I got was that it was already here.
Right, it's here. What are we going to do about it?
Do you think that the church is his power base, or does he have some kind of altar or something set up someplace else that's powering him? She didn't find anything in the basement.
Okay. So we've searched the whole church. No point in turning into a cat for that.
I'm wondering if you could change into some kind of a bird or something and watch him as he makes his rounds around the town.
Have we ever seen him outside the church, Chris?
Yeah. I mean, you remember him doing, like, you see him periodically at the diner and...
Okay, so he does go out in the town. He goes grocery shopping and things, I presume.
As far as you know, yes.
Well, we would have seen him. I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you remember seeing him doing things like going grocery shopping.
Does he wander out
It's
into
very
the town
carefully
by
said that
himself?
we remember seeing him doing those things. Not that he's done them, but that we remember seeing him do them.
Yeah. Who's music going in the background?
It's my
Abba.
husband in the other room.
He's watching ABBA videos, isn't he? He's watching Mamma Mia. I bet that's what it is.
He's watching Doctor Who.
Ah. Okay, so, but yeah, you remember seeing him at the grocery store. You've probably said hello. At least as you remember.
Maybe we should focus less on them right now. We know that we're getting these memories, but we know that they're not true. Maybe we should focus on coming up with a way to clarify our memories.
Well, do we know? I don't know that they're not true. Somebody convinced me they're not true. Because I've hated this guy since I was a little girl. I just know it.
I tried to tell you last time that they're not true.
No, you just kept asking me when I remembered him. I told you.
And
You
I
wouldn't
kept
shut
telling
up
you
about it.
that your memories aren't true. And I tried to explain to you that everybody else is doing that too. And you guys tried to tell me that it was because nobody liked me.
Well, hardly anybody does like you, but maybe you're onto something.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. So if they're not true...
Does
Then-
anyone other than Tansy have any sort of mental powers
No.
that aren't telekinetic? I'm gonna apparently know.
No, but what if one of us was thinking about the thing with the false memories and she was reading
I
mine?
can barely hear you, Miles.
Sorry.
There you go.
What if somebody else was thinking about these false memories and you tried to read their mind, maybe you could find something hidden.
Oh. Oh. Who wants to volunteer?
I think what you should do. I think this
No, we're
is a
setting
good-
up an experiment.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I think what you should do is you should have you as the person doing the reading, and then
Yes.
you should have one person as the subject, and then Kismet is the closest thing you have to an outsider doing the
Interrogation.
right.
Okay.
And since Nemesis has been here longer than anyone, she probably has the most embedded memories.
I would think so.
Possibly.
All right. You guys got it? Kismet, are you on board? I'm going to read her mind while you're asking her questions.
I had to
And
go
see if
in. I had to go close something. What am I supposed to do?
Okay, so here's the deal. We're running an experiment. I close all the drapes and turn on soothing ocean sounds.
Sarah McLaughlin and Lorena McKenna.
No. Whoosh. Like that. And so you ask Nemesis about her earliest memories and just keep pushing and pushing, and I'm going to read her mind while you're doing it and see what's really happening that she can't access in her conscious mind.
I think you should tie down Nemesis.
You're the GM. You don't get to have an opinion.
Just add a little extra bondage to this scene.
I'm prepared that if Nemesis goes crazy, I will crack a fireball on her ass.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's do it.
It's a little excessive.
For someone who's
with
being
the
mind
focus.
controlled.
Okay, so we're ready to start the experiment.
Okay, so basically the scene is set that you're in your living room. You've got you're standing behind you've got like one of those kind of armchair kind of things. You've got Nemesis in it, and you're standing behind her, and Kismet is probably sitting on the coffee table and doing that goth kid glare.
And Sarah's prepping a fireball.
I've got some incense burning, some nice sage to cleanse the space, and my
And she's
fingertips
got
are warm.
Sarah McLaughlin going because nothing builds up a fireball quite like I'll be there for you.
No, it's all ABBA. Fernando is in my head. I can hear the drums.
Okay,
Oh God.
I think we're ready then.
Okay. Kismet?
Okay. Tell me something about something you remember about this guy.
I mean, I don't remember much. I don't actually go to his church. I do remember maybe about once a year I'll go and bug him.
So last year when you did that, what did he say?
He kept complaining that there was no Wednesday Mass.
Was it Wednesday?
I would assume that I went on a Wednesday if I was asking about Wednesday Mass.
Did he say anything else?
You remember it was a Wednesday.
So I go and I ask him when Mass starts in the evening, and he gets all flustered and angry and doesn't have Mass, and that's not how their church works. Something.
I don't know how to get more specific on that.
Go back further. Like,
To what?
his first memories of this guy.
Okay, 2 years ago.
Well, the guy, you all remember that he's been here about 40 years. So Nemesis, as being the one who's been here the longest, would remember that he's been here 40 years. He's been here 40 years.
So maybe ask who was the preacher before this person arrived.
Okay. I asked that.
And what happened to him?
That's a good question. I wouldn't know specifically. I mean, you'd hear something if
He
they
died in a
left.
fire.
Died in a fire?
Died in a fire.
Well, that's not happy.
Are you saying that like as a joke, or are you saying that that's what actually happened?
Well, that's what you remember.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's what he actually remembered.
Yes.
Okay,
That is the actual. Yes, that is the actual answer to what happened. You remember that the previous minister died in it was really weird, like in swamp
Like
gas and
part of the church burned up, or
yeah.
And now it's all old and rotting.
Yep. Well, this guy's been there for 40 years, and
So one of the first
an old wooden clapboard building is really not going to.
So wait a minute. You're telling me that Miles' character can remember this? The old guy died. The old guy died in a fire, and that the church caught on fire, and he remembers that.
Yes.
Okay,
Well, technically she remembers that.
Miles doesn't remember it. Nemesis remembers it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and roll and see if at this juncture right there, because that seems like an important spot to really concentrate, if I can see if all of those are the only things that are going on in Nemesis's head. Ooh. And what attribute am I using for this?
It's your channel.
And then what about my focus for reading people? What do I do with that?
Just you can add it to the roll.
And that's a 1 or?
Yeah.
What?
Well, whatever you.
What were my options? Like there was a 0, 1, and 2, or what was the?
No, I think it was 0 and.
I did
0, 1. It was 0, 1, 1.
Okay, so. Okay, so that is 7, 8, 9, 10.
You can hear it. You can feel a kind of a weird echo in Nemesis, whatever the fuck.
Nemesis is it's possessive, not plural.
Well, maybe it is plural. You can feel you hear a weird sort of echo to her thoughts, it's kind of like remember sometimes if it with like an old reel-to-reel, if you didn't blank the tape beforehand, you could sometimes get bleed through when you recorded over it.
Mm-hmm. I remember it well.
Yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah, every now and then, you're listening to Nemesis talk and you're listening to her thoughts, and it's like every now and then
quite matching up.
Yeah.
Interesting. And can I make out any like even a word or anything in the thing that's in the background?
Well, fire seems to be kind of important.
Okay, so fire. She's reporting fire, but I'm also hearing this sort of background thing about fire.
Yeah. Are you going to... You can't really say this to Nemesis, obviously, because...
I'll ask Kismet to start moving forward in other things that would have happened in chronological order to see if I can pinpoint any other discrepancies or weirdness as we move forward in time.
Okay, why do I have to say that? You just said it.
Well, I mean, not just. I mean, start asking questions. I don't know. Ask whatever questions you want, but just like moving forward and moving forward.
I only have 2 incidents I'm working with here, aren't I?
Well, the reason, the part of the reason that it's important that Kismet do this is because Tansy's memories aren't going to be.
Yeah, my memories are contaminated.
Yeah, they're suspect too. That's why you have to try to kind of figure out. You see what we're getting at, Stacy?
Yeah, but she only goes like once a year, so.
I mean, but there's local gossip, I guess. So I know when they're having events.
When was the first time you saw him in the town, or I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, in theory, I should be able to remember when this new preacher came to town. But do I?
Do you remember anything about rebuilding the church?
Yeah, because that seems like it would be a big local thing, not just.
Okay, do you remember anything about rebuilding the church?
At that point, I had already won the lottery. So I donated some money. I remember that.
You
Do you
cooked up some
remember-
meals.
Do you remember the church actually being under construction?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Oh. You know.
He's being meta. He's saying Miles doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, you remember that summer? It was really hot that summer, and it made everything go a lot longer because for some reason that summer there just weren't any storms to to break the heat.
There wasn't the 3 o'clock shower.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah, you remember that the construction took longer than it probably should have.
Why?
I don't know. It
was hot.
Yeah, maybe because it was hot. I wrote a check and didn't go over there, so it's not.
Okay. When was the first time you saw this guy? Period.
Probably at like some town hall.
I'm gonna roll again.
Okay.
8, 9, 11 this time. Oh,
Being small enough, if you were having anybody like that who would be part of a community, most likely introduce himself at a town hall.
Well, a small, close-knit town, that would probably make the most sense.
so I rolled an 11. What did I?
When he talks about when she talks about it, you get that kind of weird, out of sync, echoey effect again.
Yeah, but I rolled an 11. I need to get more than that.
But it's weird because there doesn't seem to be anything under it. You know, the last time you got the bleed through, this time it's like you hear this, you know, and it's kind of her thoughts are kind of tinny and distant and
fake.
Well, you already knew that part, but
well, sort of, but
yeah. When you listen in on her thoughts, it's like she has a script in front of her.
Mm-hmm. So, assuming that Tansy is not a fantasiastic or whatever that is that I really am, do I see any images that I can gain any clues from that are sort of in the background of her mind? Like, I want to see this town hall where she was, and see the preacher there.
You can get glimpses. I mean, you know what the town hall looks like because it's pretty much still the same thing that it is now. But it's kind of like it's kind of like the preacher was photoshopped in. It's like it's like you see a layer that kind of, and he goes
right.
And
it's like she's remembering him there, but
right.
The image is just her memory superimposed on what the town hall really looks like.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're seeing it from the way it looks to you. It looks like, you know, right. Yeah, it's like his image has been dubbed in from like an old '70s TV show.
Is there a laugh track?
No, there's no laugh track. It's like a cop show kind of drama thing. But
Is
you
it
know,
Michael Douglas?
sure. But it's got that. It's like her memories of the building and things are crisp, but but the memories of him look like they're from an old TV set.
Yeah, not very high res and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you want to?
Is there anything else you think we should ask?
No. I don't know.
Okay. Well, before Nemesis gets angry, I think we should stop so she doesn't get fireballed.
Do we want to ask?
So I tell everybody what I saw, and they look very much to me from what I know, my abilities. These are implanted memories, and they're not real. So we've validated that now.
Well, the problem is the more you say they're not real, the more at the same time your brains are telling you they're real.
Yeah, I'm struggling with it, but at least right at that moment when I've just seen it, the evidence has been right in front of me, I can say that, and then I start to waffle, and then I think that's what I saw. Although,
and then you turn into Kieran.
Exactly. Oh, bless him.
Bless his heart, as we say in the South.
So, Kismet, it's up to you to like reinforce, because all three of us are gonna revert to thinking, oh, maybe not, because I remember him too. You know, you have to keep us convinced. I think, because we're brainwashed.
Great. Like, I really want to do that.
You can just leave town and say screw this and let them deal with it themselves.
Go back to your delusions.
Come back, Death Mage.
Shane, come back. But yeah, it's like, and Kismet, you can see as she's explaining this, like partway through her explaining what she saw and felt, she kind of trails off and then starts going, well.
All right, back.
Yeah.
It up.
Yeah. So, and you can see that they kind of get uncomfortable as they're talking about it.
Great.
Well, it's impacting you too. I mean, you can feel it, but you've only been here like a couple of weeks, so whatever the you what?
It's an accumulative thing.
It could be. I mean, they've been soaking in it for like well, however long this has been going on.
Okay, so all you guys just need to trust me. We need to kill the preacher.
I'm not against killing him.
See?
See, I've hated him since I was a little girl. See, I still believe all this shit, so it doesn't really matter whether I remember it right or wrong. I still want to kill him.
So that's going to be your plan, is just to kill the preacher?
Is there any reason we shouldn't?
Well, like one big reason, Kismet, is I don't want to get caught. Well, I don't want to be arrested for murder.
Well, okay. Then we do it without getting caught.
I'm for that.
Do we think that will be the end of it, or will it just escalate whatever is here becoming more here?
Okay, so we could sit him down and try to talk to him.
Interrogate him, yeah.
How do we make him talk?
Well, there's some.
Do you have ways?
We need to go to an adult shop. Get some whips. Some torture devices. That's the only place I can think of where you can find those things, really. And then We take him.
She's suggesting you go to an adult novelty store to get whipped.
Yeah, to get our gothy on.
Well, remember, she's 19, so you know.
Yeah.
It's happy internet.
At
She
least she didn't
knows.
suggest going to Hot Topic.
The nearest adult novelty shop is in friggin'
Well, it's probably on the other
Fort
side of the.
Lauderdale.
It's probably on the other side of the Indian reservation.
Okay. In that case.
Might as well ask about going to the mall.
Does anybody have a sleeping spell?
I
Not you.
can make a potion.
What if we got him? We did that with the homeless guy. What if we did that with the preacher guy too, and then like tied him to a chair,
Yeah.
and then asked him a bunch of questions, and then if he doesn't answer, we could pull off his fingernails. I've seen that in movies.
Who's doing this fingernail pulling off side of things?
That
No,
probably
Who's
Kismet.
torturing this person?
I'll do
Not
it.
me.
You can take turns.
You're well right with killing him, but not with pulling his fingernails off. There seems to be a little contradiction. I suppose you eat meat, but you'd never kill an animal, too, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, I know your type.
Yeah.
Sarah.
And,
Okay,
you know,
so your plan,
part-
Kismet, is that we drug him, tie him up to a chair, pull his fingernails off until he tells us what's going on?
I'm not saying it's the best idea. The last time you guys actually just let me carry through whatever idea I had, I ended up bleeding in a tub.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm trying to be the voice of reason here and get all sides explored here
Okay.
before we tie him up in a chair and pull his
Well,
fingernails off.
there is my contribution to the plan pile.
Partway
Okay.
through this conversation, the three of you start to kind of go, well, maybe he's okay.
Oh my god, I hate you people.
No, we don't. I hate this guy. I don't think he's okay.
Well,
Regardless.
but maybe killing him is kind of harsh.
Well, I'm not even against killing him as long as we can do it surreptitiously. I just
Yeah,
don't want to be as obvious as standing in a room with him in a chair while we pull off his fingernails. That seems a little bit risky to me.
So
Maybe while you're at the sex store, you could get a ball gag.
It's not the point.
kind of defeats the interrogation purposes as well. So we know that around the church, around the preacher, there are no ghosts, but we know out on the reservation, the Indian reservation, there are ghosts still. So it kind of implies that there's a limit to how big his circle of influence
His
is.
range, yeah.
Well, and Kismet has seen ghosts elsewhere. She's seen him in Nemesis's house, and she's seen him in Tansy's house.
And in the swamp.
Yeah. They're just not in the church or immediately around the church. They start to thin out, remember?
I don't
They just-
blame them.
You don't blame the ghosts?
Churches, man.
So there's a limited range to whatever is taking place in the churchyard.
Well, here's the thing. He must have a plan. He must be getting some gain out of what he's doing. There's no reason to come here, be the physical embodiment of death, and then nothing happens. Something's going to happen, right? We need to stop that thing from happening. I don't know that we necessarily need to know exactly what it is, but we have to have at least some idea of. I mean, he's been here as far as we know, and I get kind of like I woozy for a second. It's for like 40 years. So if he was going to do something, why now? What's going on?
Well, first of all, I watched way too much.
I arrived.
You think it's because of you?
I think everything's because of me.
Yeah, I know
She's
you're 19.
So about the time that the orchard company started to fail was about the same time this guy arrived.
Oh no, that was before then.
That was
So-
like 1940, right?
Okay. So there's
Yeah.
like okay. We can't blame him for that. See, again, I
mean-
think I've watched way too much Buffy. I think if we kill him, we're going to open the hell mouth and everything's going to spew out.
Luckily, you have a death mage.
But she's only 19. There's only so much she can handle.
I can handle more than you.
Well, duh, but still.
So what? So what's your plan?
We don't have a plan yet. What's
Well,
your
yeah,
plan,
yeah.
Carmen?
Not to kill him.
And then what?
Well, are we trying to bring enough evidence against him that we can take him to the Witches' Council? Are
No.
we
Witches
trying to
don't
figure
try non.
Yeah, we
Well,
have a bad trial reputation thing going on, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
Witch trials, that doesn't work the way you think it works.
No. Good point. Good point. I guess what I'd like to figure out how to neutralize whatever he's doing, which means we have to figure out what he's doing. What is he getting, as you said before, what is he getting from this town or this location? You know.
And why has he always hated me? He must know. He must know that I'm not.
That's a little paranoid, don't you think?
Well, what am I not? I'm not
Normal?
natural. I'm supernatural. I don't know what the opposite of what I am is.
Well, I think that because he's not necessarily normal himself, he probably senses it in others.
Right, that's what I mean. I'm sure he can tell. Am I still here, you guys?
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, because my video card just crashed twice.
Oh.
But it's all right.
I thought that computer died and you got a new one or something.
No, I'm still working on this one. I need to get a new video card. We've narrowed it down to that. That's one thing.
Hmm.
Maybe you should
Anyway.
have a death mage take a look at it and see if she can resurrect it. Get some other skills in that, system.
IT.
Can bring anything back to life.
I don't feel like we have enough information to make a plan, but I can't seem to weasel it out of the GM either, so I don't know what to do next.
I say we wait and confront, or when that guy comes over to paint my house, you can go steal all of his murder weapons, and then see what happens.
Oh, we can set him up for the murder. Well, that still
Well,
doesn't.
maybe we can
hold
actually make
nothing
him
open.
do the murder. If we can only convince him that the guy is evil, and we know he's evil.
You could do that too.
I'd still like to know why he's using this particular town or this particular area. Is there some kind of,
Well,
passageway to the
Yeah.
demon world or what?
I don't know
Well,
why does Stephen King put all of his horror stuff up in BFE Maine.
Because there's nothing else up there to get in the way.
Did you say why did King Tut put all of his stuff up in BFE, man?
Oh.
Yes.
Stephen King.
Stephen King.
Stephen King, not King Tut. Sorry. Got it. Oh, I just cracked my own self up. I just really thought you said King.
I've got Steve Martin's King Tut going through my head. King Tut,
Get rid of that, Abba.
if you change your mind, dancing queen.
Okay.
I think you have to do a whole song, just not bits of various ones.
We can.
What are we gonna
the
do,
witches.
guys?
We can do what we want.
That's right.
No, you guys know that there is something special about the swamp, and that's why your coven has been here. This coven has been here for.
Oh, maybe what we should do, guys, is go find out what the connection is between this fake preacher, who he might not be fake because I do remember him, but anyway, and
Been here for 40 years.
this fake preacher and the forces within the swamp, and break that bond somehow. Do we have the power to do that? Do you, Kismet? I
Do
think
you have the power?
We've got the power.
Power of
And
the
I was
babe.
thinking. Yes, I was going labyrinth, but yes.
Mold.
What?
What are you asking?
I don't
I
know.
don't think she knows.
Okay.
I think that we will make this our save point, and we will come back in another 2 weeks and figure out what the hell you're going to do next.
All right.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Get it, Gracie?